So as we're watching Dr. Phil and getting an insight on Summer Wells, you know, we're paying close attention to every piece of words that are coming out of their mouth. We're paying attention to their body language. We're paying attention to every little detail. We're going back. We're fast forwarding forward. We're rewinding back. And so go ahead and shoot that. So Don Wells on here says the first thing he thought of when he realized his daughter was missing is that she was abducted. That was his very first thought. My question is with that, all that greenery, all that trees, all that whole vast land, your first inclination would be that she was abducted? Not that she was lost, not that she went out and played and fell asleep somewhere, in a tree, something. Your first thought was she was abducted. And he says that multiple times, that's his first thought, is that she was abducted. My question is that would have been my first thought, first and foremost. Secondly, why would that have been his first thought? Was he...
Good morning, Coffee Club. Exciting, exciting, exciting. Good morning. So as many of you guys know, there was a, by the way, if you guys haven't gotten your coffee yet, please go get your cup of Joe. Go get your cup of Joe. So we have actually, I'm interested. Oh my gosh, Emma, you need to take care of yourself, girl. You need to take care of yourself. Good morning, chat. Good morning. I see a lot of people joining this morning. That's great. That's great. I'm sure you guys noticed last night. I wasn't going to go live with it last night. I was actually going to share it with you guys this morning in its entirety. But, with some of the stuff going on, I figured, what the heck, we turned it on and, decided to put my analysis on the most recent interview, because we don't really get many interviews with Candus. She's now starting to make her rounds, right? Because she's begging for, flooring for her home. She needs, even though they filed their taxes and claimed their children. I know that we're going to go through some comments too, because one of the comments are, the foster parents can claim them. You're right. The foster parents can claim them on their taxes, but they can only claim them for the months that the children were living with them. And if you have a child living with you, I think it's 5 months or more, you can claim those children on your taxes, but you have to indicate that they were only with you XYZ date. Oh my goodness, Emma. Well, we're happy that you're here, even from the hospital. So we will be praying, everybody. Let's keep Emma, it's Saturday morning. I'm sure on her, what day is it? Is it Saturday afternoon there, Emma? Either way, it's she's in the hospital, and hopefully we're hoping for a speedy recovery for her. And we all here love you so much. So we want you better. We want you better. If you like this show, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. If you would like to join as a monthly partner, there are many ways to do so. So you can go out there and join the Join Me, and there's 4 different options for level of partnership to keep this channel going. We also have a storefront, a digital storefront through Teespring that sells Bullhorn Betty merchandise. This by far is the top seller, as many of you guys know. If you haven't gotten your coffee cup yet, this is a great way to support this channel. Or any other thing on there. Many people are buying the hoodies and the t-shirts. So those are the things. I actually personally like the die cut sticker. I'm going to purchase one and put it on the back of my car that everybody knows when I'm around. Just what I need, right? Just what I need. So anyways, I also want to, let me pull up my notes here. Do I have my notes? Give me just a second. I also want to say that I was on a panel last night. Let me just get my windows up and started. Guys, I may go down today on this. My computer's acting wonky. I tried to reset it, but you know how it is. Okay, so Ernie Mac Shell, Rescue Our Children. I was on his panel last night and promised I'd give a shout out today on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Just wanted to make sure I honor my promise. So if many of you guys know, good morning, 7 to Life. It's nice to see you in here. There is the channel or the page. If you guys would like to support and get something in return, that's a great way to do it. Another way to support this channel that's free of charge is one, like, share, and subscribe, and two, go back and watch some of our prior videos. We are part of the Google AdSense program, and by you watching those commercials, it actually does support this channel, and that you can do free of charge. Just your time. So if you don't have anything to do today, go back and watch some prior videos that we've done. We do cover quite the variety of cases here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. And it's so funny because, here lately, I've been hearing that I'm this big bully, right? I'm this huge bully. And so whenever you get down to it, it's like, why do people feel I'm a bully? Oh, it's because I was in front of the laundry house. Oh, you mean peacefully assembling with law enforcement standing right next to us so we could do our job. Gotcha. So I'm a bully because I follow the law. And then we coordinated again with law enforcement in Tennessee, right? I mean, we did coordinate. I mean, I've got video after video with law enforcement coming up to us and saying, is Miss Griffin here, right? And so I'm a bully because I coordinate with law enforcement to do my job, right? So I just find it odd that people call me staying in the confines of our laws bullying. I just wanted to throw the hypocrisy out there. I also heard on another channel, which I don't really watch channels, but here lately I have, because, some people are sending them to me and whatnot. And last night I heard this person on their channel saying that they only stick to facts. They only stick to facts and they're unbiased. And this is the same person that pulled up a court record that, one, doesn't know the difference between a criminal record and a court record, and alleges that I was arrested 42 times, which is a flat out lie. So again, bias and not factual. And then goes to claim that I live with my mother. Again, false and not factual. So where's their bias? So their bias is only toward me. So as long as they lie and are biased toward me, that's okay, right? But they want their whole audience to believe that they're factual and unbiased. I'll leave that up for interpretation. So anyways, getting on with the morning. I hope everybody is having a wonderful Saturday. We try to leave this channel to a drama-free channel, but today is a little bit exciting. Because while we try to stay factual here, and, there was an interview, right? There was this infamous interview, actually several of them. I haven't even looked at all of them yet. Several interviews that Candus is now giving out, and if you look at her eyes are rolling back in her head a little here and a little there. So it makes you wonder, is she under the influence of medication? Is she under the influence of narcotics? Is she under the influence of alcohol? It just gives that appearance when you look at her. But what just almost turned my stomach the most, well, there was two aspects. Good morning, everybody. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Please go out and click like on this particular segment. I'd really appreciate that. Is living her best life. It's kind of sick, but no husband, no children. She seems to be enjoying herself entirely too much, just entirely too much, if you ask me. And you know what? I think I nailed I nailed it, because I said, once he goes to jail, it's not going to be long before she's ready to move on. She's going to kick Don to the curb. Remember that? And everybody's like, oh, Andrew, just bullhorn Betty. People hate me so much. Why do they use my name for monetization? But that's neither here nor there. So there's a few things that really turn my stomach with Candus. And one is she has these platforms to speak about her daughter. and she refuses to. Oh, I miss my daughter so much. Where's Benny? Where's Benny? Benny, 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 Benny. I'm not in love with Dawn anymore. Where's Benny? Where's Benny? So, to try to maintain integrity, I actually, before I ran with that story, believe it or not, put my big girl panties on and picked up the phone and reached out to Benny to try to get some comment, to see if maybe he'd like to come on and, explain, what's going on between him and Candus. He didn't want to do it. He didn't want to do it. Actually, he decided to wheel insults toward me, and I keep looking at his page and it's like, if he's not insulting women, well, I shouldn't say that. He's probably a little more liberal with his insults, right? He just doesn't care who it is. It could be a man, it could be a woman. He just doesn't care. But he's really nasty to women. And it makes me wonder why. Why do you have to, you want to pick on men, that's one thing. But when you start insulting all these women, it just makes you really, it just doesn't feel good, And it makes you wonder, why is it the women? But I have to be honest with you, he was going after Ernie as well. So, I think it's just anybody. I just think he likes to hear his own voice speak. But, in all fairness, he is a little more fair with the insults. He doesn't care whether it's a man or a woman, in all fairness. So, and actually I was watching this is crazy, guys, right? So I'm watching him last night, air Ernie's entire show, which you guys know I disagree with, but I have no place to complain because, I pulled Cam and Allie had, utilized some of our stuff. So this is the first time I've ever pulled somebody's entire interview and analyzed it. So I don't like doing it. I like making my own content, but it was too good not to do because, Candus doesn't give that many interviews, and she made a lot of horrible mistakes in this interview. And I pointed those out. Yeah. 7 to life. Don't bring up other YouTubers in the chat, guys. We're having a conversation about a very specific topic, and I've got to watch, did piss him off. But that's okay. He doesn't like being called kitty kitty. We coined the term kitty kitty, which actually stuck surprisingly. He's called me every other name in the book, which some of those things stick and some of those things don't. Now he's on to bullhorn, sweaty. Seriously, it's stupid. It's stupid. But, to each their own. I got thick skin and I know how much he hates kitty kitty. So we're going to call him Benny Keyz for the purposes of being respectful to other creators. And you know how much I do try to be respectful to other creators. And so anyways, I was watching Benny's show last night. Now, granted, he talks out his butt, but some of the stuff, I don't know where he comes up with it. Like he thinks on the fly. Like he can think of some funny stuff right on the fly. It's raunchy, whatever. But at the end of the day, I guess his personality, I don't know, to each their own, He is building his channel though. They No, Melania Trump. No Melania Trump. Oh my goodness. Oh my God. She looks a little like, I don't know what it's called, but those smiles, I wish she would have never, I honestly think, like, when I look at her face and see that her face is disproportionate, I can't help but to think that she's either fallen and broken her cheek or jawbone at one time, or, maybe she was assaulted and broke it. But there's definitely some disconfigurations with her face. So I don't want to make fun of it because I don't know what happened, but it does look like there is some unrepaired damage there. I'm not even going to get into that. This is what the issue is. Like, I really don't care. Like, people go on here and pull off here to throw a temper tantrum and things like that. I'm still here. I'm still here. I'm not going anywhere. So it's kind of funny because even when people pulled all their memberships, not memberships, but subscriptions, like members have stayed. But when they pulled their subscriptions, it's like, but people were still watching the videos, and it's kind of stupid. It's really stupid, but whatever. So let's see here. 7 to life. I thought you said no insults. Just kidding. You're great. You're great. The mask. Yes, that's it. That's it. You're right. You're right. Or Scream. You know, that Scream with that Scream mask on with the, it's creepy. It's creepy. So at any rate, we're going to watch a segment of the movie. I looked at the analytics on this. First of all, Benny said I'd have a problem with people watching it, that I can barely get over 1,000 views. I just want to let everybody know today that particular video reached 2.1 thousand people, lower than what we used to get, granted, but definitely higher than what we've gotten through all this, these peeing matches that we've been going through. I've been trying to keep to the facts. People like drama. They just like drama. I'm still not going to get into the drama. But again, this was one of the first interviews of Candus that I've been able to acquire, and wanted to break it down for my viewers. And yes, it's quality, not quantity. Thank you, Emma. That is exactly right. And so this is not really even the video itself. I mean, outside of the catchy title, the video itself is a breakdown of the interview. It's nothing raunchy or anything like that. I think it's despicable. She had a platform with over 1,000 people to discuss Summer Wells, and she chose to laugh. She chose to beg for flooring and chose to flirt with Benny Keyz, as opposed to talking about her daughter that's missing and how we can help find her daughter. And I think that is the most despicable part of this entire video. And again, people are going to say, well, we have, innocent until proven guilty. Well, she's guilty in my mind. She's guilty in my mind. And I'm sorry, you're not going to change my mind or my opinion after I've done the due diligence, not listen to Google, not listen to mainstream media, not listen to other creators, but actually take my time, take money, go out there and listen to the facts that I heard, to the people that were in and around the wells at the time, spoke to them, but people want to paint them as liars because it doesn't drive the narrative that they're looking for. So, with that being said, I also want to bring your attention to, I'm going to pull it up here real quick. Hold on, let me find it. It's JLR. Okay, so here, let me go ahead and pull this up right there. Let me change the view. So new info on Hunter. This is on, what channel is this? I think it's Crime Stories Obsessed. Crime Stories Obsessed. If, as you can see, I do subscribe. I got notification of this. I'm not going to play her content, but I do want to let you know that this is out there. You guys need to go and watch this. And I'm just going to parse it down for you. But again, I don't want to take her viewership away. I want to make sure that you guys go over there and watch this. It's almost a 5-minute video, very informative on what is going on with Hunter. And, we really just want to inform the audience of what's going on with Hunter. So what I was able to figure out and find out is, we all thought Hunter was out there living with his father. While he's in the area that his father's at, he's not living with him. Where is he? We don't know. I can tell you, wherever he is, he does not have electronics. So Hunter's not allowed to see what's going on out there. The TBI still has Hunter's phone, which is pretty odd. It's pretty odd. So there must be some real good information on Hunter's phone. Could it be that law enforcement just wants to make sure he stays off the internet? It is possible. He may have a gag order on him right now. And the way it was saying, the way it was alleged, especially through his father, is that's what it kind of sounds like. And so his father and his mother say, well, his father said basically that, Hunter's on new medication, he's able to sleep now. He's much happier in life than he was. So again, it tells me that there was some traumatic stuff that went on, right? We are now coming up to about 9 months since Summer has been has disappeared. 9 months. Of that 9 months, I believe it's been the past 6 or so months, maybe maybe a little less, maybe a little more, that Hunter has not been in the area. We met with law enforcement back in the beginning of December to talk to them. We went and spent about 4 hours with them over a 2-hour or 2-day period. The law enforcement at Hawkins County, primarily the lead detective. And we, provided him the interviews that we had obtained. And we had indicated that if they didn't already have, a psychiatrist for Hunter, that, based on the information that we received by multiple people at that residence, the mother, the grandmother, and the great grandmother, we all had an opportunity to speak with. Good morning. Good morning. We had an opportunity to speak with. And they had described basically, no, I don't think he's in juvie detention, Vicky, because his father lives out of state, I believe in New York. And it appears that his father is much closer to him than the mother. But on Crime Stories Obsessed, it talks about how the father is planning on Hunter's birthday is coming up, and he's going to be planning on some kind of event for his son for his birthday. And that, it is now time for his son to tell what he knows. So, and the mother is very supportive that it's time to get some things off his chest. And I'm thinking, okay, here we go. Now is the time. Here we go. If Hunter has some kind of information to get off his chest, what does that indicate? It indicates Candus. It indicates Don. Those are the people that he was in and around the time that Summer went missing. So I believe the time is starting to roll out where Hunter might be ready to talk. He might be ready to talk. And we're hoping, and I think everybody needs to pray for him, because I'm sure whatever story he does have, now that he's been away from social media, now that he's been away from people, now that his life is kind of more stable, he might be ready to let whatever's been holding him down and all that gunk from the trauma be purged. And that's what we want. We want to make sure that, Hunter is purged of those issues, because that's an issue. I mean, his family described him never quite being the same after that day. Now, whether sympathizers believe that or not, I'm sorry, a parent knows if their child has forever changed. He stopped sleeping. He started getting in trouble. He didn't want to go to school. All this happened right after, literally, when he came home from that outing at the water hole. He was different. He was different. And I think his girlfriend, whatever her name is, I think she knows more too, because he was immediately out with her. Something happened. Her mother noticed a difference in him right away. And he said it was because of the alcohol. I still don't understand how Georgia has not arrested Candus for contributing to the delinquency of alcohol. And when you go through her Facebook page, you realize that's not the first time she has provided Hunter alcohol. So let's, hope that what we've been waiting for and praying for will be coming out soon. That's what we have to hope and pray for at this time. So, again, going back to, let me get back up there. We're going to go through some stuff. Yeah, I can always tell when there's some issues because my mouse starts freezing. So we may go down. I'm just letting you guys know, and I'm not prepared with my phone yet. So if I go down, you're just going to have to wait a few minutes for me to get back up. So we got comments here. So I just wanted to go through some of the comments, you know, on this, you know, is Candus done with Dawn? And is Kitty going to get some kitty? That is the title of that segment that is out. And we will, I want to answer some questions that were in the comment section. We found out that Candus has her own channel and went live yesterday for a few minutes. You know, and they noticed a kid is sleeping behind her. Now, mind you, this is a woman that's had all her children taken from her. Where did this little boy come from? There is a little boy laying behind her. I'm sorry. Where did he come from? It's sick. She's got a missing child, and every single other child that she's ever given birth to has been taken from her by the alphabet soup of Child Protective Services. And somebody trusts their child with her? Whoever it is that has that child there, they need to have CPS called on them. Because it didn't look like whoever's child that was, any other adult was there. So I'm curious as to whose child that was. Vicky, I heard something different. I heard he wasn't on probation when Summer went missing. He acted out and got put on probation after she went missing, but before Chris McDonough's interview. I could be wrong. That's what I heard. I did not hear it from a source in and around that family. I think I actually heard it online somewhere. So I've got no information. I'm just telling you that, but I got no information corroborating that, but that's what I heard. Yeah, absolutely. Like, what? And you could clearly see this little boy in a black hoodie behind her. What parent, what person in their right mind would leave their young child with a woman that has a missing daughter, is a person of interest in that missing daughter's case, and has had every single child she has given birth to taken away? Are people really that stupid? I mean, an abundance of caution. Even if you don't believe that she did, it's like somebody being a sex offender and you not believing they're a sex offender and sending your child over there to be babysat from them, and then find out 2 years later, guess what? He is a sex offender and he sexually, assaulted your child. What is wrong with people? What is wrong with people? It's sad. People need to wake up. No child is safe in that home. I have no idea. Yeah, absolutely. So it's just a little bit, oh my God, I would freak out. That would probably, I mean, you know what, Allie looks like we don't agree on, we agree to disagree on these cases and how we bring these cases to light. However, I don't see her leaving her child unattended over there at that house. I could be wrong, but I really just don't see it. She seems like one of those mothers that takes the precautions necessary, whether she believes it or not. It's her child. She would never let anything happen to her child. That's just me personally, based upon, I don't know them very well, but just body language, appearance, and everything else. I just want to make sure that I'm very clear on that. I don't think, if I find out it to be true, I will be literally floored. And that's another thing, no matter how many YouTubers come out and pay thousands of dollars to fix up that woman's house, that's what they don't understand. These boys are never coming home. You're wasting your money. I can tell you that these boys are not coming home. She's already had 2 sets of children. You got to look at past behavior and repetitive behavior. She's already had 2 children taken away from her permanently. She's got a missing daughter, and she just had her sons taken away from her. The chances of her getting those kids back will be slim to none. And I have a funny feeling, like I said, that there are things that are going to be popping off here in the next few months, especially as H starts coming out and speaking and getting stuff off his chest and telling what he knows. You know, it sounds to me like he hasn't had the opportunity to do that because of the traumatic experience. I'm pretty sure that law enforcement knows, you know, body language experts can tell you when a kid is lying and when they're not. You know, they have adolescent psychologists that help with these situations. They're professional, and they can say, no, he's not ready. He needs some assistance, and get him that assistance. I hope that is what they chose to do, law enforcement being they. And I hope Hunter is ready to spill the beans and tell us what happened and what at least what I think I know. I have a funny feeling we're going to find out that everything that happened in and around that water hole. Medical attention was not garnered for Summer Wells, and Summer Wells met her demise for the lack of medical care. That's what I truly believe happened. Let's see. Possible. I can tell you she wasn't in a hotel earlier that day. You know, she may be using some of that money that YouTubers are getting so she can stay in a nice hotel and, you know, have her drugs delivered or alcohol. I mean, she looks like a hot mess. I'm sorry. Even in this interview that I'm going to be playing for you guys, her eyes are rolling back in multiple screenshots, you know, multiple parts in that. Her eyes are rolling back as if she's on drugs. Maybe it's just the alcohol. I don't know. I've never seen somebody's eyes roll back like hers do. And when she was talking about Summer, she almost was fighting for words to say. You know, it just didn't give the appearance of. So anyways, so they're telling it that Candus has her own channel, which I think is a bad move. She can't control herself and she cannot control her mouth. So I think that's a bad move. So Tim Mullins, whatever your name is, Tim Mullins, you might want to pull the plug on that. I think that that's a bad move, and you're supposed to be your media manager. Not good. Not good. But hey, for the rest of us, it's great, right? We're going to catch her in slips. We caught her in a couple of them on this interview anyways. So let's just keep going. Candus's grin looks creepy. I have to agree with that. Her daughter is missing and she's laughing on YouTube chats. Can you say, huh? My mom was many things, but she would still be lifting up rocks trying to find her daughter. The last thing on her mind would be a man. A man wouldn't even enter my mom's mind. I have to agree with my mother as well. My mother, that would be the last thing. Her kids mean more to her than any man. I can tell you that. So does anyone else not think it's super weird that they want their whole house redone? What if there are details relating to Summer's case and they're trying to hide or get rid of it? Very sad situation. We love you, Summer. Very true. Very true. Everyone says that when they're breaking up from a long-term relationships. I love him, but I'm not in love with him anymore. That's right. But we also don't have a man moving into the house the next month or in a few days, couple weeks, right? I mean, I was in a long relationship, and that's exactly what I said. I love him, but I'm not in love with him anymore. That's why I'm getting a divorce. But you don't see me moving a man into my home. And not only that, but this is my home. This is not I purchased this home, not my ex-husband, right? that home is not owned by Candus. That's Don Wells's home that he got from his family. So, yes, I get what you're saying, but sorry. Sorry, not sorry. He said those words on the phone call on live. I heard them. Not sure which one, but it was a phone call. Good morning, Bernice. Good morning. Making the money by fixing that dump. Yeah. Just got here rewinding to skim through and catch up. Good morning, Sasha. Hydrate. Good morning, everybody. As the stomach turns. Sad case. It is a sad case. You know, and it's crazy because what's Benny going to do when he starts smelling her? You know, we know from Don Wells, as well as Candus, she doesn't bathe regularly. She just doesn't. So it makes you wonder, you know, what kind of, I mean, that house has got to smell. House has got to smell horrible. Good morning. Good morning. That is it. Okay, well, we have, so it was a little girl, looked like a little boy in a hoodie. Looked like a little boy in a hoodie. I could be wrong. You know, kids, they don't have any defining features when they're in a hoodie. So I guess it could be a little girl, but this little girl, and that is a friend child. And she was there with her. Why is a child alone with Candus Wells? Why? What purpose does a child have with an adult woman that has a missing daughter and every single one of her children out of her custody because she can't watch her own kids? She cannot be trusted with her own children. And that is a fact, not speculation. You know why it's a fact? Because she's had every single child in her custody ripped out of her custody by the states. So again, Junior, why is there a child alone with this woman that the state says cannot be trusted with children? Let me guess, I'm being a bully? Oh my God. Yeah. Well, he's doing it the dirty old rotten. Like I like a little bit of throw up just came up. Oh, really? Really? How many times? He's a kid that was traumatized. He's not an adult. Quit being an idiot. Quit being an idiot. Seriously? How many times you get a timeline? How many times? What in the purpose? Let me ask you this, Junior. Why in the world, with Candus's daughter missing, does she think it's important to stop what she's doing instead of looking for her daughter, right? The day after her daughter went missing, and go over to Hunter's house to ask him what he said to law enforcement. Explain to me what parent does that when their child is missing. Nobody in their right mind, any normal person, doesn't give a damn what anybody says to law enforcement. They're out there looking for their child. So explain that to me. Quit worrying about a 15-year-old little boy that was traumatized by an adult that probably sexually assaulted him in the past, that's definitely fed him alcohol and drugs. Why don't you worry about Candus and her actions and the fact she doesn't have her children? Why don't you do that? You can't. Doesn't drive your narrative, does it? You're sick. I said it. I'm a bully. Pretty sure that's going to be freaking... I'm a bully. That's facts, not speculation, by the way. And that's what people try to tell me, that I'm a bully because I bring fact and they don't like it. I don't tell lies. You guys had the whole entire interviews online for you to see, for you to hear with your own ears, and you still try to come here and call me a liar. It's sick. Why don't you worry about Candus instead of a 15-year-old little boy? Why don't you do that? Good morning. Okay. Yeah, exactly. I agree with you. If Benny can tell us what happened to Summer, he deserves the reward money. Period. Absolutely. If it brings Summer home, absolutely. Exactly. Thank you. But they're worried about a 15-year-old boy that's been traumatized, that had to move away from his mother, move out of the state he was living in. God knows what Candus did to that boy. God knows. But it's the 15-year-old's fault. What is wrong with people? What is wrong with people? Mm-hmm. Hey. Can we say gigolo? I'm sorry. I couldn't help myself. Oh my God. You just don't stop. Go to your followers and scream this stuff, dude. Nobody cares. This is not the place for you. Do you not see that? Nobody believes Candus in this chat. Nobody. Go fill up her Cash App, dude. Go fill up her Cash App. Yeah. Exactly. Thank you. There's a lot of inconsistencies coming from that house, but nobody wants to admit that, right? No. Nobody wants to admit that. Oh, good God. Oh, good God. Well, you seem to have all the answers, don't you? You really do. Where do you live? I bet you don't live anywhere around them. Let me guess. Somebody tells you something so you believe it. You're one of those people, I'm sure, right? You're one of those people. So I bet you're also one of those people that believe I live with my mom. Hey, Mom! Mom! I need coffee! I need my bed made! Can you come clean my office? Oh, that's right. I'm not Benny Keyz. Sorry. Not only that, but why are they with a child? What in the world is this world coming to? Can't wait for Junior's excuse for that. Oh my God. This is insanity. Let's see how people twist this this live. I want to see how people twist this live with all their facts and unbiased. They're factual and biased until they don't realize what an arrest record is and look at a court record with traffic infractions and civil suits. But hey, I've been arrested 42 times. And how I live with my mother. What? Buddy, I have everything in my life paid for, free and clear. What do you mean? I live on a $1,000 budget a month. My home's paid for. But you would know that if you knew how to do research in public records and not mistaken a court record for an arrest record. Idiots. Okay, well, whatever you say. So why are you still here? You're the only one here fighting Candus's battle. It still doesn't explain what happened to her daughter, why all of her children have been taken from her custody. Maybe because she's a crappy mom. If it wasn't for her lifestyle, her daughter might still be here. But go fill up her Cash App. Get the hell out of my chat. Is anybody else annoyed with this person? Or is it just me? If you would not have been trying to bash CC, you would have heard them to get Candus to talk and mess up a lot. I don't need to. She messed up a lot on the interview with freaking Crackin Cases. Why do I need to be nice to her? There's enough people sucking her knob right now. Why do I need to be? No. I'm true to myself. I'm not going to be sucking anybody's knob for an interview, for anything. They can do that. When the truth comes out and she's sitting behind bars, I want to be on the right side of things saying, hey, I stuck to my guns. I didn't stoop to that level, and I damn sure didn't give the woman a dime for what she did to Summer. But it's all speculation. Okay. We'll see how that speculation does for these people. See how that was. Oh, good God. That's odd. So, let's see here. Yes, there is, Stephanie. There actually is unsolved case, and I actually have it. We went by the bank. I just haven't edited the video yet. So they believed another man committed that crime, and he actually killed himself in 2005. But it makes you wonder, did he? Because the killing happened in 2003. And that was before the Superbikes Motorsports killing over in Chesney. We went by that bank several times. We didn't even notice it at first, went by literally just driving from, place to place. And then we decided we wanted to go check out the bank, which we did. The bank is still there, and it was in a trailer. And I'm thinking, you're running a bank, a savings and loan bank out of a trailer with these thin walls. And it's like, I was surprised that it was still there when we heard that it was in a trailer up this thing, and it was a steep slope too. And when we went up there, I was still surprised to see it still standing. It was still standing. I mean, the sign had been removed from the posts that, went way up in the air. But other than that, it was intact. It even had the deposit drawer. And let me see if I can find that. Hold on a second. I know I've got it here. Come on, where's my mouse? Let me see if I can. I know I've got it here. There's the Superbikes. Oh, here we go. Hold on. Where did it go? Didn't even pop up. Hold on a second. Let's try it again. Like it had the whole window, and it was still there. Like it was literally still there. So I don't want to go too much in because I haven't edited the videos. That's just some B-roll that I have for the video. So I'll be editing that here in the near future. But yeah. So it's quite interesting. And we actually did cover the other gentleman and why he was a suspect. So we had two suspects with this. And I can't remember the gentleman's name right off the top of my head. but he had stolen a red Oldsmobile Alero from a rental company in and around there. And when the bank murders happened, he was actually acting weird in and around the area. So, but it's right off an interstate. It's weird. So I'm thinking, like, even if he was acting weird, could he have been acting weird because he stole the car to begin with? And just because he apparently took his sister's car, ran in it and through the gate and stole this Oldsmobile Alero. And so it just questions, could he have been responsible? Could this gentleman have been responsible for the murders, or could Todd Kohlhepp be responsible for the murders? Either way, this case is still cold. They never was able to close it. And it makes you wonder. And Todd Kohlhepp does acknowledge in his own words that he has more victims out there. He's just alleging with the documentary crew that there's two from the time he was released from prison and before. So he killed people from the time he was released from prison at the end of the year in 2001 to the Superbike murders. So it happened before the Superbike murders. And and then of course we find out he had a pilot license and other properties around the United States. And, he was a realtor, and I keep wondering, did he kill a couple of his clients and assume their identities? Are there other properties in his client's name? Maybe people that lived alone, didn't talk to many people, didn't have a lot of friends. It seems like they would have, excuse me, been an easy target. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Maybe my mommy can get me a tissue. Mom! Darn. Still not here. Can you believe my mom does not live with me? I do not live with my mother. I am an adult. I pay my own bills, pay my taxes. Kind of funny how that happens. Keeps making me wonder. Benny, can you say the same? Oh, no, you can't. That's right. Your mom was just sitting on the couch with you last night. I do miss my mommy. Mommy, can you cook me some breakfast? She's probably watching right now. Mom, send me some breakfast. You live with me and enable me. The least you can do is feed me. Oh, gosh. Sorry. Let's see what we got going on here. Yeah, absolutely. I agree. You know what? Whatever he does, I just don't like the whole gigolo thing to do it. But to each their own. At the end of the day, we'll do whatever it takes to bring Summer home. So, I do make light of it, but it makes me wonder: is there more there than just this reward money? I mean, it just. The reason why I brought it up in this video, and the fact that she gets super excited that Benny's on the panel, but women start, when they really like a man, they start making sure that the other man, that it's defined that they're done with the other man, so they can move on with this new relationship, whether it's right after one another or not. And I keep wondering, does Benny feel the same? But if you guys remember, back when Benny was at the Rogersville location, the Dirty Wells property, back in December, if you remember very vividly, when he left, he was crying all the way home. And him and Candus spent a lot of time alone together. I'll leave that up to your minds. I mean, that is what you call speculation for those folks that don't know the difference. That's speculation. I am speculating that something happened between Candus and Benny back in December. That's speculation. And I have no problem saying it's speculation. It still makes a little vomit come up my throat. Oh my God. Yeah, I opened it just for everybody to know. I didn't limit comments today. A couple of my mods asked me, since we were going to be playing this video, that we give the opposition opportunity to say their piece, like Junior, even though I disagree with Love Bottom. 100% disagree. And, it's still, we're still definitely giving them the opportunity, to have their position be told in the comments. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. I thought it was great. I thought it was great, to be honest with you. It was very informative. I liked it. I watched it last night and I thought, I just feel, after seeing it, I just felt like there's more to come. Like, this is not over, it's kind of giving me that faith, that oomph needed to keep going with this story, because you can't keep saying the same things over and over and over and over again, right? I have my opinions about it, but when is it beating a dead horse? And now that I know that, Hunter never had an opportunity to really purge himself from the trauma and really have a direct conversation with these law enforcement agencies. Yeah, he's a 15-year-old kid, being scared and being intimidated, and fabricating timelines because an adult told you to, like an adult showing up at your house the very next day asking you what you said to law enforcement. That's intimidation. So it makes you wonder, and that's not speculation. That's not speculation for those that can't tell the difference between facts and speculation. That was confirmed. And so that makes it fact. And so, and not only that, but when you're dealing with adolescents that are impressionable, you have to expect some inconsistencies. That is known. And what they do is they work with that child through the help of professionals to find out if that child's being truthful or what that child truly knows. So it sounds to me like Hunter is on his road to recovery, and there's a lot more to come. So I'm kind of excited about that. I'm very hopeful about that. And we will see what transpires moving forward. But I have a funny feeling if he holds the key and they're holding his phone, there's a reason. And with him being 15 years old and in and around, being a firsthand, an eyewitness with Candus and Grandis, it tells me that they're involved. So again, it's right up the alley that I have been driving. And so I'm kind of excited, but absolutely, Crime Stories, I love your work, and I'm happy that you're here. Yeah, because and we've been talking about, like, you need to watch my videos. We've been talking about DCS for quite some time. And the bottom line is any person that has lost their children previously should be under investigation right from the beginning if they have another set of children. What happened is that happened in Wisconsin, and she is in Tennessee. There is a problem with these DCF communicating. I've got this right here. You are more than welcome to go look it up yourself. Where is it? Right here. Which is the guidelines for Tennessee. Okay? She was supposed to have been under supervision as soon as her first son in her second relationship was born. She was supposed to be under scrutiny. But because of the states not conversating with each other, they lost track. That's how it happened. So the bottom line is she lost one set of kid. She should have had a caseworker immediately when she got pregnant and was having Josie, under their guidelines. But again, you have to do research to find this information out. So, Junior, again, agree to disagree. You think you know a lot, but you actually have to get off your butt and go do some research and pull records in order to get this information and connect the dots. So, not to be disrespectful, but seriously. Yeah. And not only that, they should have been involved much sooner. And I can guarantee if they were involved much sooner, the boys would have been ripped out of that home. That home was despicable. It was deplorable. They had feces in that house. They had mites in that home. They had rodents in that home. Let's just go through some of this stuff. So there was physical abuse, okay? But even if we wanted to disregard that, now for those that are just now watching, I left this open. This is Tennessee Department of Children Family Services Work Aid. Okay, this is what defines different levels of abuse. Okay, so there's physical abuse, and we can confirm that there was physical abuse. You know, she and her husband, Don Wells, have hit those kids in the head. And in here, the note, physical abuse should not happen until a child reaches the age of 6. So anytime they have smacked, hit, or beat Summer, that was considered abuse under Tennessee law, okay? Because she wasn't 6 years old yet. There's drug exposure. We've got Candus on the phone saying, Don, we had a recorder. Remember, we pulled, when we went up to Tennessee, we pulled the phone records. We only were able to get 2 calls because they don't hold those records, but for 18 months. So we were able to get 2 calls. And one of those, she's on the phone with the police department saying that Don just got back from the crack man's house in Johnson City. So clearly there was drug exposure. Okay, and that just doesn't, and according to this document, again, from Tennessee Department of Children's Services, drug exposure does not mean illicit drugs. It states in here that it also means marijuana and alcohol. So we know there was drug exposure. Negligence. There's different types of negligence that they are responsible for. What is environmental negligence? Environmental negligence is things like not having doors on the bedrooms, not having doors on the bathrooms, right? So they had environmental, the trash out in front of their yard that the kids could injure themselves on. That's all provable. We saw that with our own eyes in the photos that Chris McDonough provided with that video. They should have been charged with that. So this idea that Candus is this upstanding mom that just lost her kid. No, she's not. She's a despicable woman that injured her children over and over and over, day in and day out. That's why her boys are taken from her. There are many people that have children go missing every single year that don't get the rest of their children ripped from their home. There's a reason why the rest of the children ripped from their home. And it's not because of mean YouTubers. It's because they're despicable parents living in filth. Nutritional neglect. Even the day Summer went missing, not one time did she say, we stopped and had lunch. Not one time did she say she stopped and fed that child. From 8:30 in the morning when she was at Allie's house to 5:30 at night. This was a 5-year-old child. She was malnutritioned. She didn't provide medical attention. Lack of supervision? Yep. So this idea, Candus deserves to have her entire house fixed up, or she's getting her children back. She's not. She's not. Quit fooling yourself. You're looking like fools. No matter how much money you throw at her, it's not changing the fact she's not getting those boys back. I guarantee you, before all this is said and done, she's going to be looking at a jail cell. Again, that's my opinion. And I am biased with that opinion because I went to Rogersville. I spoke to people. Don't like it? Change the channel. It's easy. It's easy. Okay, let's see. Yes, exactly. Absolutely, I am too. None of it makes sense. It's just a sympathizer that probably filled up Candus's and Don's Cash App. You know, these people are going to have a hard, cold reality when those parents are locked up for the disappearance of Summer. And then what are they going to say? Well, we had to, believe them until they were proven guilty. You just funded someone that was responsible, a parent that was responsible for the disappearance of their child. I'm sorry. I beg to err on the side of caution before I ever gave anybody a dime, especially with the allegations coming out about them from every single person in and around them. Let's think about this. They started out with a whole bunch of people on their side. Now what do they have? They have Tim Mullins and Robin Lane. That's it. These are people that knew them for years. And at the end of the day, they only have two people standing next to them. One that's trying to redirect leads to themselves, probably to get the reward money. And a woman that's a godly figure, which I can understand. Okay, let's see here. Jackie. Probably. All right, guys. So without further ado, I think I'm going to go ahead and get right on into, I'm going through here to see if there's anything else I want to answer. So I'm going to go ahead and get on in here. Now, it's crazy because the analytics says people watch. This is about a 27-minute video, but people watch about 11 minutes. The highest point was 11 minutes, and actually doesn't start getting good until it's around 20 minutes of this video, about, 16 minutes in or so to the end. That's when it kind of really gets good, and people are only watching the beginning of it. So I think I'm going to skip ahead on this video somewhat for your viewing experience, because it sounds to me like a lot of people, the paper is, yeah, no, that's, yes, Don Schlong, yes, this is the guideline. Sorry, I don't want to be misrepresenting what this is. Yes. So this is the Tennessee Department of Children's Services Work Aid 1. This is the categories and definition of the types of abuse and negligence that needs to be reported for children. So this is their guidelines. Obviously they've got to report this, and then they got to remove the children. So, depending on the level of negligence, or abuse. But the problem is that when you go through this, there is so much that that gets the checkbox, right? That gets the check next to it. That it would have been difficult for them to have kept those children in that home. And the reason why I bring it up is because those children should have been removed so much longer. Because even down here, part of the allegations, and which is recorded quite frequently, is the domestic violence. So, at the end here, there's domestic violence. There's a lot of drugs and a lot of domestic violence associated with this home. Law enforcement should have notified CPS years ago, because they've been going back and forth to this home for this domestic violence for so long that they should have had a case a lot sooner than this. So there was definitely a lot of failures throughout this process that led to Summer's disappearance. If the shoulda, woulda, coulda scenario, and there was a lot of shoulda, woulda, couldas, and it's sad. Even with the friends and families, that were in and around Don and Candus Wells, they saw abuse but never reported it. They never started reporting the abuse until after she was gone. That was when it was too late. This stuff should have been reported when it was happening. You don't wait until a child disappears and then say, oh, you know what? Well, there was this sign, and there was this and there was that, and that's too late. What's the purpose of having law enforcement and child protective services if you see abuse and you don't report it until the child's gone? So, always err on the side of caution. If you don't know it's abuse, just call it in. Let them determine it, but at least have it documented. Yes, and Candus did. Don Wells confirmed on a phone call conversation that Candus actually pulled out a shotgun on the social workers for her first set of children. Good morning, June. I would suggest you go to Chris McDonough. There's a lot, Don Schlong, there's a lot of videos out there that describe and categorize and give you visual aids of what those children were living in. The reason why I'm directing you more so to Chris McDonough is because he was one of the first people inside that home right after Summer went missing, and it gives you it's creepy. I got to tell you, dude, it's pretty bad, and it's pretty creepy. So I believe somebody help me. I believe that interview was done. I want to say July 22nd. I could be wrong, but Don, you might want to go back there. But Chris McDonough, he's very well respected. He's a detective and a retired detective, and he was able to immediately get there and was able to talk himself right into the home. From what I understood, is that they weren't even going to let him come inside, and somehow, some way, because that was before Candus was no longer allowed to talk to people. She was the one that was with him solely, and he has the best videos of her body language at the beginning of this and her inconsistent statements. So I definitely would behoove you to go over there and check that out. I won't play it here, but it's worth your time and effort. It really is, and it's long. It's long, and but I would just go there. I mean, for those that want to have a good update on this case, I mean, he gives great analysis too. Like even the body language with Candus at the water hole. I wish he would have broke down Hunter's interview, because Olivia's got a breakdown of me. Breaking down what I'm hearing and seeing. She hasn't posted it yet. Obviously that happened many months ago when I did that, but I'm curious as to whether Chris McDonough agrees with my breakdown, because I see a lot of stuff in that interview. And so I just stood in front of the TV with Olivia recording, and I stopped and rewind and explained my position and explained why I said what I was saying. And that has not been released. I don't have that footage. Only Olivia does. So I'm going to see if I can get that from her and at least show an uncut version of that. She can use that, pretty it up in one of her videos, but I would like that. Yep. Sick, dumb people. Yes, I agree. Good morning. Good morning. No, they just keep trying to make excuses for her and shame me. Like their hate toward me because of who I am clouds their judgment and clouds their vision. It's sad. Oh, I believe they're criminal. My problem is that law enforcement has this information, and that's what I'm so angry about. I don't have it. They have it. They have it. We sat down with the district assistant district attorney and had a conversation with her. They have the evidence of these allegations. That's what's making me so frustrated, is why hasn't Tennessee? Like you hear about Georgia, you hear about Virginia, you hear about all these other states that go in and arrest these parents for unrelated charges besides their child missing. Their child is missing, but they're not charging them with those charges. They're charging them with these unrelated charges. And it just burns my grits that Tennessee has not charged them with unrelated charges, even though they have enough evidence in their possession, custody, and control to arrest them. That's what people don't understand, that don't get off their duff and go out there and talk to people. Even though we were not supposed to record the conversation in that district attorney's office, I didn't realize I had my little voice recorder that I keep in my bra running. I've got the entire conversation. I can't air it. Because we're not supposed to record. So do I have it? Yes. Is it going to go out of my possession, custody, and control? No. But it doesn't mean the conversation did not happen. Law enforcement has information. Why they are sitting on it, I have no idea. Well, they did explain it to me that they didn't want it to jeopardize the rest of the case. That's not good enough for me. Jeopardize the rest of the case. You're letting these people live on top of a mountain for 9 months, smoking crack, doing their drugs, drinking, having a ball, being able to laugh, being able to act like nothing's going on in their life. And then, boom, you're going to arrest them when? When you have a case all neat in a bow? Arrest them for the unrelated charges, please. Get the animals off the street. It's a slap in the face to the people that love Summer Wells. They're not going to show them where Summer Wells is. Until you apply the pressure necessary, they're not going to tell them squat. Dunkin' Donuts, but I also have, for those that have Keurigs, this is $50. But I do love the variety of coffee. And I have that whenever I can't get up, and there's the Keurig. I dusted the old Keurig off. Sounds like crap, but it works. But in my thermos, this is what I drink most of the days, as many of you guys know. That's Dunkin' Donuts, original brand, by the way. But as many of you know, Miss Robin, she got me addicted to peppermint mocha, to Starbucks peppermint mocha. And so we went to this spooky, scary walk, which I had an amazing time on. And she forgot to bring me the peppermint mocha. Well, yesterday I was getting a little hungry, so I went over to the Winn-Dixie, and I had to pick up some coffee because I was out, as many of you know. And lo and behold, there was the peppermint mocha in the refrigerated section. So I grabbed 2 bottles. I miss my peppermint mocha, but I can feel myself getting fat. I've already gained 8 pounds. I've gained 8 pounds. I'm sure I will lose. I'll only be 5 pounds. By the end of this week, I'll be only 5 pounds heavier than I was. But it still drives me nuts. I hate gaining weight. Probably should have said that online, right? I'm pretty sure everybody's going to be calling me a fat cow now that I gained 5 pounds. All my haters. Oh, I'm glad I have more lovers than haters. No, that's not true, Dawn. She lost her children. She actually went to jail because she pointed a shotgun. She pointed a shotgun at the social workers coming to get her children. She lost custody of her children. She never fought for her children back. She walked away and never looked back. And her children suffered. Her daughter's name's Candus, and her son's name Andrew. And her daughter, Candus, went through a lot. I would behoove you to quit listening to everybody else. Lots of cream and sugar, I know. I'm not a hazelnut. I'll drink some hazelnut, but I'm the original coffee drinker. I love the original. I don't know why, but I think it's because when I used to go to Dunkin' Donuts, I used to always get a glazed donut. I wasn't with all those fancy jelly filled, Boston cream, blah, 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 blah. I'm just an original coffee, dunking a glazed donut in the coffee. That's my kryptonite. I haven't had a glazed donut in a really long time. Did I tell you I gained 5 pounds? Actually, 8 pounds. We'll say it's been 5. All right. If the boys took for physical or any kind of abuse, they would have had to file charges in Tennessee. No, they wouldn't. Don, I'm telling you, we talked to the district state attorney. We talked to them. That's inaccurate. That's inaccurate. The information goes to the state attorney in this case. We talked to, I'm telling you, We were at the district state attorney's office. That is inaccurate. Or they're not following the proper protocols. Hold on. Stupid mouse. Where is my mouse? There it is. I always tell when there's problems with my computer, the mouse starts sticking. All right, Summer Wells. Is this the first trip? This is the first trip. Hold on, let me find the second trip. All right, here's the second trip. Let me find it. Give me just a second. I'll pull it up. I'm telling you, that's inaccurate, or they're not following proper protocols. And if there are proper protocols, let me know, because I'm going to be starting a campaign asking those questions, like, why have these people not been arrested yet? Seriously, like it's really getting under my skin. It's really getting under my skin. All right. And I actually have, before we were told that they would meet with us and not as long as we didn't record, I also have us in the lobby of the district attorney speaking to them. I think it was before all this. Where's my district attorney stuff? Sorry, guys. Give me just a second. Is this it? Oh, there it is. So there it is. There it is. Okay. So we'll play this.
Definitely put that out. Yeah. I will put it out.
You're cute. Cute. Do you want us to take down the Christmas tree or anything? I'm trying to do it. I'm going to let you in here. Okay. You are not video or type. Absolutely.
So again, that's all I'm willing to share. But that was us at the district attorney's office. Again, you heard the lady, she was going to let us in. We met with the district state attorney, or the district assistant district state attorney, or district assistant state attorney, however it was. It wasn't the actual district attorney. It was the assistant district attorney. And again, you know, we met with them. We sat down with them. We were in their office for over an hour and a half. A lot of people try to say we don't do work, that we're just out here, you know, with bullhorns and stuff like that. That could not be further from the truth. I know that that's what they want to tell people, to manipulate them to hate us, but that's not true. We are actually out there trying to get answers, trying to find the truth, trying to find where Summer is. And because they don't like some of the tactics we use, they manipulate their audience and incite their audience with lies, with absolute lies, like not understanding what a court record is and an arrest record is. Those types of things. Calling people racist because they got nothing better to do. Telling people that I live with my mother when I don't. Telling people I beat my mother when I don't. These are all types of things that are used very specifically to manipulate their audience to make them think horrible things, so it incites them to do horrible things. Actually, the whole bat thing, in all fairness, I have never been able to confirm. I have never been able to confirm that Andrew truly, in fact, was beaten with a bat and truly was, and now I'm talking about Andrew the son, or that he has suffered brain damage because of it. There is nothing that I've been able to find that confirms that allegation. Unfortunately, I'm not saying that it's not true. I'm just saying, me personally, I have tried to locate that information. I have not been able to locate that information. I cannot sit here and say that that is accurate, true and accurate statement. I can't even allege that or speculate that, because I've got no information about this bat. So, could it have happened? You know, we talk about possible and probable all the time. Of course, it's possible. I just can't find the information related to that. We pulled public records. You know, we pulled as many records as the state of Wisconsin would provide us, and we cannot find that information. So if you have that information, you know, there's some people that are better at the work than I am. I give them that. If you have better information than what I have, please forward it to me. I'd like to see it, but it has to be authenticated documentation. So, oh, that's okay. There's a lot of people that can't type fast. We're good with the one fingers. We're good with that. You're good. So now, Don, I'm curious. Are you in law enforcement in Tennessee, or are you just in law enforcement in a different state? Because I do know that different laws in different states work differently. And what's really crazy is if you're not actually in Hawkins County, that could be different too, because it seems to me that Hawkins County does not follow the law explicitly. Like, they're just not a law and order type of county. I could be wrong, but when I read, like, we even pulled the incident reports and the arrest records and everything else like that for Don Wells. And even though they have witnessed Don Wells drinking and driving on multiple occasions, they never arrested him for DUI but once. And that was when they were forced to. And also in these incident reports and these arrest records, you know, it appears that there were domestic violence type of crimes here that he was never arrested for, and they just separated him. Here in Florida, you know, somebody has to go to jail. You don't get to say, call your mother and or a friend and say, hey, can I come stay with you for the night? It doesn't work that way here in Florida. And somebody in one of my chats says that's the way it's supposed to be in Tennessee as well. So I don't know if, you know, how or why these two people particularly are able to skirt the law like they do. I don't know. So Ronnie Girl put the, Don, for you, Ronnie Girl said she put the link into this chat for Chris McDonough. So I do recommend that you please go over there and watch that. It is pretty shocking, and watch all of it and listen very carefully. Watch the body language. If you're in law enforcement, you should pick up on a lot of stuff very quickly, as opposed to the rest of the audience. So I think once you start watching that channel and start really paying attention, the light bulb's going to go off for you. I really do believe. You know, I don't know, you know, I can tell you that Don could be very rude and disrespectful, like that, you know, that Smart Alec Jr. Love Bottom was. But he seems like he's been very respectful and asking, you know, thoughtful questions. So I don't want to be disrespectful to him. I really don't. I think, you know, we provide, you know, people sometimes don't know this stuff. So what do? We provide them the information so they can know this stuff. And, we want to make sure people are educated. And the only way we can educate people is through this information. So let's be courteous until it's not worth being courteous. But it seems to me that Don Schlong is, funny as the last name is. I hope that's not your real last name, by the way. But if it is, I apologize for laughing at it. But we want to be as respectful as possible because he has been very nice and courteous here in this chat. So, we don't want to be rude. What does this say? Sorry, my thing. My understanding is because they removed the children from the home, this did not mandate such a warrant, if that makes sense. I don't know. Again, I personally believe you are absolutely right. I personally believe this is exactly what should be happening. I absolutely do. It's not. That's the problem I have. That's the problem I've had from the very beginning. And you must be new to this channel. But many of my followers that are dedicated can tell you this is what I've been talking about this whole time, is what you're saying right there. You are darn right. That's what should be happening. So why isn't it? Why isn't it? And they had the information. And I behoove you to go over to Chris McDonough. You can see everything like here. And there's another place. I got to remember where I got this. Where did I get this, guys? This was, we pulled this off. This was information that I pulled off. You can't just readily find this. Let me see if you can. Give me just 2 shakes of a lamb's tail. And let me see if I can find this again. If I can find this, I'll post the link up for you. And you can take this and compare it to the McDonough interview, and you will see there are so many. And not only that, but with the actual physical abuse, we got firsthand knowledge from several people that saw the abuse, that actually saw the physical abuse. Remember, according to this Tennessee Department of Children Services, physical abuse should not be confused with developmental appropriate discipline related marks and bruises on the buttocks and legs of children 6 years old or older. Okay. If you recall, Summer was under the age of 6. So any abuse perpetrated upon her was actual and legitimate physical abuse that should not have been perpetrated. They have that information. She doesn't want her boys back. She sips the bottle of whiskey. Yes. None of her behaviors that got her children taken from her to begin with have changed. There is no behavioral change. When you have your children, I guarantee they have taken no parenting classes. They have done none of the requirements to get their children back. I guarantee they probably have not. Could I be wrong? Maybe. But somebody better tell me, because I'm telling you, there are steps when you have your children taken away from the Department of Children and Family Services. I know this all too well because my best friend is going through this right now. No, she did not have her children taken. She's a grandmother of children that were taken from their mother. So she is now in sole custody of her grandchildren. And in order for her daughter to ever have those children back, there are very strict requirements that her daughter must adhere to in order to even have a fighting chance of ever getting those children back. So with Candus staying drunk and staying in that house all the time, I can guarantee she's not doing anything to get her children back because it requires action. They're action items. Going to classes, going here, going there. We're not seeing that. We're not seeing that. And these classes you can't take online. Out there with her. Yeah. 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 Okay, 7:05. Let me get, hold on. Give me a second. I'm going to go up. Thank you, Anissa. That's how to do it right there, guys. If you guys see something that I need to see, please provide the time. 7:05. We're getting there. Sasha. Okay, I must be going crazy. Did you mean 8:05? Because I'm up here at 7:05 and I do not see Sasha in 7:05. Let me look at 8:05. Hold on. Okay. Yeah, it was 8:05. Oh, that's right. You're an hour behind me. Sorry, Anissa. Sorry about that. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of speculation that whole entire conversation, folks. If you guys have not seen it, I posted the interview that Candus had with Crackin Cases and analysis and analyzed it and put my commentary in it. It's 27 minutes long. I understand it is a lengthy video, but it doesn't get really good until closer to the middle to end. So if you have not had an opportunity to watch it, please go back and watch it. I'm going to be playing it here in just a little bit. We're going to kind of start in the middle and listen to it because the majority of the people, according to the analytics, watch up to about 11 minutes. So we're going to start at about, 12 minutes, 13 minutes and play it through so everybody gets it. I may just play it from, I'll let you guys decide whether you guys want to stick around for 27 minutes to watch the entire thing or not. I'm going to let you, we got 315 people in here. If you guys want to watch the entire video in its entirety, I'm happy to play it. It does have, I'll take the video, I'll take the advertisements out of it because obviously I uploaded it. So I have the clean copy of it. So if you guys want to see the entire video and just let me just roll with it, I'm happy to do so. Just put the number 1. Everybody type in the number 1 in the comments section and I'm happy just to roll with it and let you guys watch the entire thing. If you guys would like me to do just the beginning, put 2. If you guys would like me to do just the end, from the middle to the end, put 3. So 1 for the entirety, 2 for the beginning, and 3 for the ending. So those are your options. I will count your responses and decide what segment of that interview I will play, if not the whole thing. Yeah, good job. I got to say, Don, they did answer our questions. I don't know now if they would, but we were there in person. When you have a presence in person with phones and cameras and stuff like that, they know you kind of mean business. We were fortunate enough to meet with the assistant district attorney. She was a very nice lady. You could tell she had children of her own. You could tell this case bothered her quite a bit. She was very knowledgeable and answered our questions the best she could. She couldn't give us everything that we wanted because, then we were, you're going into case information. But she did give us enough information that we could formulate what the situation is. Yeah, I analyzed all of that. Yeah. But she also said something to the effect of, I don't love Donnie anymore. I love him, but I'm not in love with him. He did what he did. And I'm like, what? Was that a confession, Candus? I mean, he's been telling me, since December that Summer's not coming home. that she's gone. She's met her maker. And I kept wondering how Don would know that. Yes, he said that to me multiple times. And I have it on video. Yeah, I do. We've heard with eyewitness testimony. Again, eyewitness testimony is evidence. Don Schlong is in here. He says he's law enforcement. Don, I'm just curious from you if you would consider eyewitness testimony as true evidence of a crime. I agree. Bingo. Exactly. Exactly. Let's get our thumbs up here. Yeah. Never ending cycle. Let's see. I feel there's going to be one of them talking really soon. Yeah. I almost want to drive to Tennessee today and you know, go see if I can see Don. I tell him what's going on. You know, Don and I have this love-hate relationship. You know? Okay, thank you. Please do. You guys are interested in supporting me or this channel, please go by my merchandise store and purchase something. I think the cheapest thing in there is like $7.99, which would, you know, give you something in return and help the show. For those that don't want to, you know, help the show financially, the best way you could help us is go back and watch prior videos and watch the advertisement. We are part of the Google AdSense program. That means every time you watch an advertisement on this channel, you are supporting this channel. Here. Oh, good. That's surprising. That's surprising. Okay. All right. Sorry about that. Sorry, just getting through these. So did we start saying 1s, 2s, and 3s yet? Doesn't look like it. Good morning. I'm late taking care of. Okay. Fresh pot of coffee. She's under the influence of many substances. Yes, I agree. I agree, ZZ. Yeah, I do believe, I mean, her eyes are rolling back. I mean, I don't know of any time eyes roll back into the back of your head without you being under the influence of alcohol. I can tell you that I've seen her sober because we were at her job, you know, supposedly bullying her when law enforcement was out there basically telling them we were within our rights, right? We were within our rights to be there, but people want to manipulate the situation and tell their audience that we were out there bullying and harassing. Bullying and harassing is a lawful term. And if law enforcement doesn't classify it as bullying and harassment, then how is it bullying and harassment? Because some creator said it was? That's not how it works. That's not how it works. But I digress. I digress. I'm sorry, my husband. Good morning. Good morning. It's an unusual name, yeah. Yes, strange clouds. But, you know, I have to say though, you know, he makes his point. You say what you mean what you say, but you don't have to say it mean. And obviously, you know, we have a disagreement, but I think he handled himself very well. And those are the kinds, people say they come in here and they're not allowed to talk and da da da. Yeah, you are. It's the way you do it. When you come in here smart alecky, think you're going to rule my roost, it's a different story. But I thought Don handled himself very well. He had a lot of open-ended questions. It seemed like he really wanted to find out some answers. We were able to answer them, whether we answered them to the best of his ability, whether he likes the responses he got. We did respond to him and we did answer his questions and we did provide him resources to those answers. And I provided him, we went to the assistant district attorney and we went and spoke to her. And I just happened to find the video of us actually walking in to go sit at the table. Again, I turned off my phone, but it wasn't until after I left because I have a little recorder. And no, it's not a pen recorder. And that's another thing. Somebody said that we went into the hippie house with these pen recorders. Pen recorders did not work well. They did 5-minute recordings. They sucked. So, those recordings were done by our phones in our hands. This is where my phone is, right like that. Okay. Right like that. That's why you saw the little part of my sleeve in it. So these people that think they know what the heck they're talking about, again, do not know. Okay, so it looks like we got a majority of ones to watch the whole video, guys. And I will tell you, this video is lengthy. So we will watch it without the advertisements in it. What I will ask that you guys do is just go back through the videos and, watch a couple videos with advertisements in it for me. It does help this channel. I am part of the AdSense program. And AdSense helps us keep rolling through month after month. Also, don't forget, you can do super chats or super stickers here. That ability is open for each and every one of you. That also helps support this channel. And, with all the things that are going on, this channel has been financially damaged in a way. So any support that you guys can provide would be greatly appreciated. So now we're going to go to the video. I don't want to do it on YouTube because it's not, I had it pulled up, but when I went and did the, hold on just a second. And people are probably happy to hear that, but it's not cool. This is my segment on, is Candus done with Don, and is Kitty going to get him some kitty? This is covered under fair use.
Hola, how are you? You doing all right? Oh man, did you see that?
Doing all right. I got to shop for everything else.
Oh wow. So, yeah, I'm glad that you came in here. Were you in there the whole time?
No, I wasn't. I was in Jamie's chat earlier and a whole bunch of other people's chat.
Oh, is making it rounds.
As seen here, Candus is making her rounds on YouTube channels, smiling, laughing, and having a great time.
I'm making my rounds, honey.
So we were, I don't know, you don't have to answer anything that we're talking about unless you want to, and I know how that is. We were, so I was talking about, what's a good, you talked about what you just went over.
Well, we were talking about the phone call that Hunter talked about whenever Don supposedly called you guys when you were in the drive-thru at Walmart.
This is where the YouTubers start directing her, showing everybody else is the liar, everybody else is the problem, taking no personal responsibility.
And Hunter said that some guy named Andy was up there and was trying to touch the kids or something, is how he had put it.
Yeah. Tell her what you
That's such a lie.
Right. So see, that's what I was kind of under the impression that he heard what he wanted to hear when Don called, and then they just made up whatever he had, whatever he thought he heard.
Okay, let me say something, Cam. Donnie called me and said, "Are you guys almost home?" And I said, "Yes. I have to stop and get my mom's prescription, and then we'll be on our way." And that's
Right.
all what was said.
I believe that. I believe that because they were trying way too hard, and this is what we were talking about. I know that she was just doing stuff out of being grudgeful, spiteful, and having a grudge. Because we know, she yelled that at you that day when you were carrying that banner, didn't she?
Yes, she did.
Yeah.
We got your kid.
What did she say? They got your kid?
She said, "Ha ha, flip me off, and I got your kid."
But that's not really true either. What Allie did say, she supposedly flipped her off and said, "I got your bitch." So Candus is yet again lying.
So that right there, look, the people want to be hateful and bash Candus. She's out there carrying a banner for her daughter, yet we have Hunter and her mom, and this isn't the only thing that they were attending.
My question has always been, why are they out there at vigils and carrying banners? Why aren't they out looking for their daughter? As if they knew she was never coming home.
Through this, Allie yells at it. Candus, True was showing up and Hunter at prayer vigils and making their presence known. Things that were supposed to be for summer, and
They were popping up there.
more like just bullying.
Right.
Bullying or just harassing.
Right. Harassing and being disrespectful.
Yeah, that's the way I took it. And I noticed that, remember when we first noticed that in that video? I was like, she was that pink haired girl in that video. I was like, that's too much. So I mean, if people are going to come at everybody else, I mean, we have to look at everything. They're lying. What was the reason? How would he? Hold on, this would be a good question. I don't want to go off too far. This would be a good question, Candus. How did he know about Jackie Dobbs camping up there? Would he have heard that through a grapevine, through somebody, to be able to say that?
Oh, Donnie?
No, Hunter. Would he have known anything about Jackie being over there? Because he talking about somebody camping.
That kid didn't know nothing about it. That kid didn't know nothing about it.
But Candus, in her own words, acknowledges that Hunter has no clue about another pedophile in the area that could have possibly been around other than what he heard on the telephone with Don.
And when Chris did this interview, it's a month later, so that
had already been talked about online by the time that they had done the interview.
Yeah, so they were able to put together about stuff they're hearing.
Right.
I forgot about that.
That's the whole.
You'll hear many times about these YouTubers putting words in her mouth and driving a narrative and actually leading Candus to what she is saying, again, to drive a narrative.
Because if you go back and watch that interview, they talked about milk, they talked about everything that had been already talked about online in that interview. And so I feel like that they had been watching everything and that's where they were pulling stuff from just to say.
Yeah. Do you know if I don't want to go. Just tell me to shut up if I go. If you don't want to answer this, but
Get it done and over with, Cam.
did Hunter? Did his girlfriend? Do you know if she lived in?
This interview is supposed to be about Summer Wells, and you've got Candus laughing and smiling and having a great time during this interview. And she's got a missing 5-year-old daughter.
Bristol, or her mom, or anything?
I don't know anything about Hunter's girlfriend.
Because they said that when he got back after y'all had dropped him off, they were like, oh, he went to Bristol with his girlfriend, and
they were at a park.
And Bristol's pretty far from Kingsport.
I don't know nothing about that. I really don't know nothing about that. I really don't.
Right. I was, that Bristol's pretty far from Kingsport, and that's why I asked that.
Yeah,
we,
so
you know,
45 minutes.
yeah, we're close. That's what exactly. We're closer to Bristol than you are.
Right.
So yeah, it's out of the way.
Why?
Let's see. What did she say? Please have Candace repeat what Allison. Okay, so
Because people were wanting to know if she said, I have your kid or they have your kid.
okay, yeah. Read Candace, do you see that?
Here is where we're going to hear exactly what Allie reportedly said to Candus that day.
Please have Candace repeat what Allison felt that she had her kid or they. Okay, when I was going and I was holding the banner for summer, when she come up missing, Allie and her group said, ha ha, like this, and said, we got your bitch. That's what they did.
We got your bitch, is what they said.
You're about to hear Candus go through the what ifs. What if she did this? What if she did that, right? And then you're going to hear her say, what if I would have walked her up? I thought on many occasions she said she walked Summer into the home. So clearly her statements don't align with her previous statements.
They're like
Okay, let me say something to y'all. Every day I go through the pain of what if this, what if that,
yeah.
what if I did this right, what if I did that right, what if I walked out there with her, what if I did this, what if I did that? And that's how I feel every day.
Right. Well, and we know that. Yeah. We've talked to you, and this is the thing that people.
That is my baby girl.
Yeah.
Right. That is my daughter, man.
She's going into this conversation about this is her baby girl, this is her daughter. But how many times have we heard from people close to this family that she did not want girls and she wanted to give Summer up for adoption on multiple occasions?
I'm like on the verge, like, I don't even know how I can explain it the right way because that's my pride and joy. That's my little girl. She was my pride, my joy, my love of my life. And for someone to come do what they did to her.
He says for someone to come in and do what they did. What did they do, Candus? What do you know?
I'm trying not to cry. I'm really trying not to cry over this.
I know. Well,
you're missing a 5-year-old daughter. What do you mean you're trying not to cry? How can you not be hysterical at this moment?
I can cry on command. I just can't.
Yes, you heard that correctly. She can't cry on command. In my opinion, parents that are missing a 5-year-old child that they believe was not only kidnapped, but is being sexually assaulted, doesn't need to cry on command. It comes naturally.
I can't
deal with it. You can't always cry on command. You can't. People don't understand, Cam. They really don't understand. But yeah, they just cry when everybody wants me to cry. I don't have Summer. I don't have my boys. I don't have Donnie.
She doesn't have Summer. She doesn't have the boys. She doesn't have Donnie. And she can't cry on cue. It sounds to me like there's some fishiness going on here. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I'm like all alone in this world.
I know.
I can't comprehend everything that's going on because of what has happened. And I'm just so emotional and I'm so sorry.
Oh, that's
Did she just say she's so emotional? How can she be emotional? Remember, she can't cry on cue.
Thank you, Pam Blankenship. She said,
thank you, everybody.
Candus, Pam Blankenship asked, she said, Candus, how can we help you?
I need some in the other room.
You cut out.
That is correct. You just heard her jump right on in, didn't even think twice about taking up somebody's offer for help. She needs new flooring in her other room because it's YouTuber's responsibility to fix her entire house. Now, mind you, they just filed their tax return in which they claim their children. So they're getting money back here, plus all the donations that have been pouring in, and now she wants flooring.
I said I need some flooring done in the other room
Okay.
where Josie will be at.
Okay. Well, I've got.
And I just caught that too, where Josie will be at. So she's pulling at people's heartstrings to boot.
I'll talk to you about that after. I've got something to send over.
Yeah, we'll talk later.
Yeah, I've got something to send over to you, and so some flooring. How much? Do you know about how much you need for that room?
I need about oh shit, you're gonna ask me this question. I need about 6 boxes.
Guys, I'm sorry. I'm trying to get to all y'all's questions. Summer has stole the hearts of many. We will never give up on her. Stay strong, Candus Bly. Summer will come home. That's awesome. Thank you, Sarah. That's an uplifting comment right there. That's all. That's what we're all trying to shoot for. We're trying to be positive for this little girl.
Right.
It's for Summer, nobody else. What we can do to try to help Summer, to help those boys, whatever. That's what it's about, for real. And being mature enough that when we get on here and we talk about stuff, that those boys don't have to go back and hear things and
all the awful stuff that's been said.
Yeah, because they're at the age now that they're getting on YouTube, they're paying attention to what's going on. They're not lost to the situation that their life is going through right now. So it's very what's the word? It's very, people just need to be careful.
Yeah.
For real. Second
Just
thoughts,
be mindful
Nanny.
of them.
She says, Candus, I've always believed you from the very start. I've prayed every day for you, Summer, and your family. Thank you, second folks. I hope your son's doing okay too. He stays in our prayers. His name's right up there on the board. Candus, did you hear that one?
I want you to pay attention that while Cam and Allie are reading these messages, uplifting messages about Summer, about the boys, notice how distracted Candus is. Candus could care less. She could literally care less.
Yes.
Okay. Let's see, I'm trying to get through all of them.
Is Benny around?
Again, while they're talking about her children, Summer, and the boys, Candus is completely distracted, not paying attention to the uplifting messages from the supporters, and immediately wants to know where who is. Benny.
You asking me?
Yeah, I'm asking you.
I haven't heard from him. I haven't heard from him. I don't know if he's
I mean, either.
has he been live today or anything?
Not that I'm aware of.
What'd he say?
I know Donnie's mad at me. He's worried about me being safe here when my mom leaves and I'm here by myself.
Yeah.
And I tell him every day, I'm like, it's gonna be okay. I got this.
this Christmas.
No, he's not mad at me, but like I tell him, I'm like, I'll be okay. I'm fine by myself.
Yeah.
I can do it by myself.
Yeah, but he, I feel like he's probably. When's the last time that y'all been apart? Like really apart for a while?
When he went to Utah,
Yeah. So, and how he was gone? How long that time?
9 months.
And we know now why Don is so upset with Candus, because when he came back from Utah, Candus was shacked up in the house with Jose Raymond, which was Allie's ex-boyfriend and Candus Bly's new boyfriend. And if you recall correctly, Don Wells was actually arrested on that occasion when he came back, which was October 14th, 2020. That is when he was arrested, and he just violated probation, which has now sent him to jail for 6 months at the minimum. So I wanted to read you. This is the reason, this is the violation of probation that Don Wells got when he was driving around drunk a year later. So I did want to stop this video. I did want to reread this because there are new people in this chat, and a lot of people haven't watched my earlier lives or anything like that. So I'm just going to read this. Again, this is the arrest affidavit for him. Let me find out which one is this. This is when he went to jail for the violation of probation. Find the mugshot that accompanies this one, and I think it's this here. Is this the right one? Domestic assault, possession of a gun by an. Yep. So here is the mugshot for the arrest that we're talking about when he came back from Utah. He's gone for 9 months. And so on October 14th, 2020, deputies were dispatched to 110 Ben Hill Road, Rogersville, Tennessee, for a domestic with assault. Upon turning onto Ben 110 Road, I observed a white GMC Sonoma pulling onto Beach Creek Road. I turned my floodlights on, revealing a man behind the wheel to be later identified as Donald Wells. Deputies proceeded onto the scene and spoke with victim Candus Bly and 2 witnesses, Jose Raymond and who? Candace Harrer, mom. So mom, boyfriend, and daughter are all shacked up in a house, and Don Wells comes flying home, and we've got this all on tape. We have a tape of the police call. Bly stated her husband, Don Wells, left in a white GMC Sonoma shortly after Deputy Winter advised that a white truck was coming back up the driveway. I heard the family members begin to fear for his return and heard a member utter that there was a firearm in the vehicle. A felony stop was conducted in the driveway, and Wells was detained. When detaining Wells, I observed a strong odor of an alcoholic beverage coming from his person. Now, remember, just earlier in this segment, I had explained how many times Don Wells was caught by law enforcement under the influence of alcohol, exiting a moving vehicle, again, a violation of Tennessee law, a DUI, and was never arrested. He was not arrested for a DUI on this stop. We're going to go through that in just a second. And was stumbling when he was picked up off the ground. Wells stated that there was a firearm in the truck, but it was a black powder pistol in the glove box. Wells went on to say that it was a lie, that Bly was a felon from charges in Utah and had something to drink that night. Deputy Winter located a firearm in the vehicle. This gentleman, whoever filled out this report, I don't see the officer's name. Arrested by Kyle Shively. So Kyle Shively is writing this report up. I spoke with Bly and witnesses about the assault. Bly stated that Wells came home drunk and saw Jose in the house and believed Bly was cheating on him, which we did confirm through testimony of other people that Candus Bly was in fact sleeping with Jose at the time. Allegedly, Wells started to argue with Jose, and Wells began to struggle with Bly. Bly was pushed down, causing damage to her knee. Sounds awfully familiar. Didn't she say that her mom's the one with the knee problems? Bly and witnesses stated that Wells began punching himself in the face and then left. Wells was taken into the Hawkins County Jail for booking. And so even though they saw him exit the vehicle intoxicated and clearly drunk, driving a motor vehicle, his charges was domestic assault, possession of a gun by an intoxicated person. So where's the DUI? Why wasn't the DUI? They witnessed him driving a vehicle under the influence of alcohol to the point that he was stumbling, strong odor, and then an unlawful carry possession of a weapon. So when he got his violation of probation, which is this one right here. This is the one that he got his violation of probation on, which he is now serving an 1129 for, which he has the possibility of being released after 6 months. So those were the charges. So now I'm going to go back to the video, but I did want to clarify this for the audience.
Oh man, so yes, he's gone a while. He went more. I didn't know it was that long.
Gosh, I didn't either.
Yeah, so
Yeah, but I was okay by myself though.
Yeah, but I'm sure that this is different just because of everything going on.
I mean,
he just
don't get me wrong, I love him, but I'm not in love with him anymore.
Yes, folks, you heard that right. She loves Don, but she's not in love with Don. And we're hearing that Benny Keyz is on his way down to live in Tennessee with Candus. It makes you wonder, is Kitty Kitty going to get some Kitty Kitty?
that's
I love him, but I'm not in love with him anymore.
right.
And I'll do anything for him because he's the kid's dad. But I cannot keep going the way I'm going.
That's
You
the hard
know,
thing.
Donnie's gonna hear this at the end of this, but it doesn't even matter. I love Donnie to death. He's my kid's dad. I love Donnie to death. You know, I love him because he's the kid's dad. But as far as being in love with him anymore, I am done. He just doesn't understand how and what I feel. I love him. I love him to death. But I'm letting you know how I feel about the whole trip.
Right. Right.
I understand.
I'm married to him. He's my husband. I love him. But I'm not in love with him anymore. He has done what he has done.
Here is where it gets very, very interesting. What did Don do? Did he have a hand in Summer's disappearance? This statement makes you wonder.
And I love him to death. I will always care for him. But as far as having me keep going, there's going to be a slash jag, if you know what I mean. I love Donnie, but he has to do what he has to do, and I can't do no more for him.
You're about to start watching and noticing that Candus is having a conversation by text with Benny Keyz. Look at her face and how excited she is to hear from Benny after just saying she's no longer in love with Don Wells. It makes you wonder if she has inappropriate feelings for Benny Keyz.
No, he doesn't. Not yet.
There's Benny. He said gang activities over here.
Oh my God, dang Benny.
Gang activities over here.
But it also makes you wonder, does Benny reciprocate those same feelings that Candus has for him or her. Stay tuned. We are analyzing this entire conversation.
God, he didn't.
Look, bro, I didn't even know anybody was
Yes,
coming up
man.
here. We were sitting here doing our thing.
Oh my God, he just said, Benny just said, what's wrong?
Look how happy and excited she is to know that Benny actually cares about what is wrong with her. He is just over the moon. Does Benny feel the same way? It makes you wonder.
Yeah, for real. Look, I'm glad. And I plead the fifth. I agree with you. She said, like Candus talked. She said she's never got to talk about how she truly feels.
Yeah.
And I agree with you. I mean, look, you can't hold that in.
Right.
If that's the way you feel, I mean, might be a good time to let him know about that right now. And then you work on telling, you say, do you got this? Is your problem? You can work on doing something for you. I mean, Candus, for real, I'm going to ask you, when's the last time you really did anything for you and your happiness and for your children and happiness?
The woman doesn't even take care of her kids. And you're asking her, when has she done anything for herself or her children? Probably never. Just saying.
Probably been a long
I've never had no happiness, Kim.
Yes, folks, you heard her correctly. She's never had any happiness. No happiness when she gave birth to her oldest son, her middle son, or her youngest son, and no happiness when she gave birth to Summer. No happiness. She's never had happiness. That's probably the most real statement she has ever said.
Somebody said, go look at Cam. He said, what's wrong? I said, well, I'm just sitting here telling Cam and Ellie what I really feel. He said, be careful.
Again, it makes you wonder, is there a love affair going on between Benny Keyz and Candus Wells? Is this a problem that she has? If you remember, when I found out Don Wells was going to jail, what was the first thing I said? She can't keep her legs closed. She will have another man before long. Is that other man Benny Keyz?
Be careful. But he can come up here if he wants. I can give him the link. It don't matter. Tell him if he wants to. Look, I'm not going to ask you nothing that's like I said. You can talk. I don't even want to ask anything. That's y'all's place.
He doesn't want to ask them anything. Cam says that's y'all's place. Does that mean other people know of this affair, this illicit affair that could be happening between Benny Keyz and Candus Wells? This is where I'd like you to start paying attention to Candus's body language. Look how enamored she is with Benny Keyz. She is head over heels in love with this man. And now we find out through the grapevine, he's planning on moving in with Candus in March. It makes you wonder, is this going to affect him and Don Wells' relationship? Does he truly believe Candus has more information than she's saying and wants to befriend her in the only way he knows how? Is he looking for the payday and getting the information for the reward money? All these things are on the table. Please watch.
What's up, gang?
Not much, man.
How you doing, Miss Allie?
Good. How are you?
Good. Thank you for having me.
No problem, man. We was doing our thing up here, and so we saw in the chat, Candus wants the link. I was like, huh? I've never been over here before.
Candus?
Yeah. Hey, look, it's been good though.
Oh, Cam.
Yeah.
For real,
Candus.
Candus, it's been good. I mean, you got to get some things off your chest, and that's cool. Everybody's got to talk about their feelings and stuff. What's up? Oh, okay. So what's up, man? What you been into?
What's up, Benny?
Not a lot. We've had ice storms here for most of the day, so the internet, every about 45 minutes the power cuts off for the roaming. So I've been out of the loop today.
Dude,
Yeah.
she was sitting there. And Candus, I appreciate you answering that stuff. And I think people needed to hear that from you, that Allie did get, that Hunter's mom did yell that at you.
It's okay though, y'all.
I mean, it is what it is.
I can handle it.
I know you can.
It sure is.
Heck yeah, man.
You're about to hear Candus go into a sexual innuendo directed at Benny Keyz. Again, it brings us back. Is there something going on between Candus Wells and Benny Keyz? I'll let you decide.
Oh, really? Well, I know that when you got more people, when you have more people come on with the cameras on, sorry.
No, you're good. Go ahead. What did you say, Candus? Well, sorry.
I said women have more fiber opportunities than men do.
Yes, that does sound like she's flirting, doesn't it? Then makes you wonder.
Yes. Sure.
That's true. Can't argue with you on that one.
But this is where I'm ending the interview, and this ends. Is Candus done with Don? And is Kitty going to get him some kitty? This is a very interesting story, but watch the body language on it. As we progress, we will keep following this case and we will see where it leads. Please like, share, and subscribe, and leave your comments in the comment section below. And there you have it, folks. There you have it. That is my analysis and breakdown of that interview. Pretty interesting, we'll say the least. Pretty interesting. Yeah. It was, it was, I don't know who Monica is either. For those that are paying attention to the chat, I don't know who that is. But Don will see it. And she even acknowledges that she knows that Don will hear about this statement, and I'm just thinking how betrayed Don must feel to know that somebody that he trusted, such as Benny Keyz, is going to live with his wife that is now in their home, in his home, his family home, after she's making it very clear she does not want to be with Don anymore. Is she opening the door so that Benny Keyz can come in and swoop in on Don's area? Is he going there for a payday because she's making so much more money through donations and stuff like that? Or is he truly trying to be a friend? Based on their body language, based on conversations that it's y'all's business and stuff like that, it sounds to me like people in and around this circle at least have some inclination that there's more going on between the two than not. And it comes back to when he went to Rogersville, even last night he was showing the video, which I would have been embarrassed. If I was him, he's bragging about it. And you would think he would be embarrassed of his conduct. I would have been wholly embarrassed if I were him and had that type of conduct where he's threatening 4 people, unarmed people, with a log. And I can tell you, he keeps saying that Jonathan was shook. We had footage from Jonathan's phone on that day, and you don't see him shaking at all. So what does he mean by shook? Is that just his assumption? Because the video was pretty still for somebody being shook. I mean, we saw shook. When we saw shook, when we were standing in front of, in Sullivan County, in front of the house that Don and Candus were working on, and her hand was shaking. Now that's shook. So Jonathan wasn't shook, but I guarantee Candus was. Yes, and I have addressed that. And I am just wondering how in the world anybody would trust their child with that woman. She's had every single child taken away from her. And the only one that wasn't taken away from her is missing. And she is a person of interest in that disappearance. She's never been cleared. She's not going to be cleared, in my opinion. Oh, I'm pretty sure people are already writing messages to him. I'm pretty sure he's got a nice stack of mail going to his jail right now, of people letting him know of what Candus said last night. I guarantee that. If anybody knows, as he's the only Don Wells inside Hawkins County Detention Center. So, if anybody else would like to send him a nice message, that would probably be the place that you would want to send him any kind of letters. So I will just leave it at that. I don't know who's not keeping it clean, but there is some information in here to keep it clean in the chat. So everybody, please be respectful of the chat and keep it clean. Thank you so much for your cooperation. Oh, gotcha. Gotcha. Okay, that makes sense, because I heard about that Cash Gernon case. I'm assuming that's what you're talking about. Oh, is that what it is? Yeah, she did have a frown on her face when he was bringing up Penny, but I just thought it was awfully, if Benny doesn't realize at this point that this is a bad decision on his part, that she without a doubt has inappropriate feelings for him, I don't know what will let him know that. You don't go sleep at another man's house when they're in jail with their wife. It just has horrible optics. Nothing good can come of it. I am not Benny's friend in the least, but as a person that doesn't want to see bad things happen to anybody, I'm just saying that's just not appropriate behavior. I hope he heeds the warning. People get injured for doing stuff like that. And I would, despite my feelings, our disagreements, I don't know him personally. I've met him a few times, didn't really care for his behavior. But in the grand scheme of things, I really don't know him personally. I have watched some of his videos. I mean, outside of being a spectacle and stuff like that, he does seem, I wouldn't say normal, but he does seem likable in some respects. I mean, once you're his friend, he seems like he, has your back, goes to the mattress for you. So that is commendable. But in the same respect, one thing you don't do is go to another man's home and sleep in another man's home while he is in jail. It's just something you do not do. That is begging and screaming for problems. Begging and screaming for problems. So, wow. Well, hopefully he doesn't do that either, because, again, I'm not with the whole stepping in somebody else's pond type of thing. That conduct leads to problems. To each their own. He's not a friend of mine. He's not somebody that I, outside of YouTube, would even give a thought to. But I hope he keeps himself, he knows what the heck he's doing and doesn't get himself into problems he can't get himself out of. That's, I would just hate to see that happen. I'd hate to see that happen at all. We do, it's not good. Yes, we saw it. We talked about it. Yes, that is true. There were people in here earlier trying to explain. There is no explanation. And I'm sorry, if we knew who the parent of that child was, I'd be calling CPS myself. You do not put your child in harm's way. You just don't do that. Whenever you And I even use the analogy of, a sexual predator. Even if you don't believe that they did the allegations that they said they did, you don't throw your child in and around them alone, just because you don't believe that it could be true. Because what happens if it is? The what ifs, right? As a parent, your responsibility is keeping your child safe from all the what ifs. This is she's had every single child taken away from her by the government, and that's because she's a poor parent. And there is nobody can justify her poor parenting than having, what is it, 5 children taken away and 1 missing. And that's the children we know of, because adoption records and those types of things are sealed. The only reason why we know about the other 2 is because they're adults now. Yeah, I just hope he knows what he's getting himself into. I hope he plays the tape through. Again, him and I don't see eye to eye on a lot. We're on polar opposites of this argument. Is there going to be a case one day that we may be on the same team with? Possibly. Not necessarily the team. I don't think him and I personality wise will ever be cohesive. But will we be in the same opinion of certain cases? It's possible. And at the end of the day, I don't want anything to happen to anybody, on YouTube, whether I agree with them or not, period. Just to throw that out there. But when you start, again, messing in another man's pond, that is a recipe for disaster, a complete recipe for disaster, whether it's with Candus or this other person named Penny. It's just, you stay out of it. You don't get involved. Have control over your body and your hormones. Whatever it is not worth it. That's just my opinion. Whatever it is not worth it. But that's all the advice I'm willing to give. Oh, thank you. Well, it's because I get up at 5 a.m. or 5:30. And by the time I get online about 7, I've already had a few cups of coffee in me and had an opportunity to wake up so I could be nice and chipper for the audience. It's all about making sure that you guys have a great start to your day. We want to make sure that you guys are in a happy mood. Sometimes this is one of the first shows that are on, and we kind of like to set the tone for everybody's day, and if we're in a bad mood, our audience is probably going to be in a bad mood. If we're in a good mood and happy and chippery, the audience walks away with a good, wonderful feeling. And that's really, at the end of the day, what we try to convey here. We try to stay out of the drama, but this was a good interview. This was a good storyline, outside of the catchphrase to get people's attention. This was not insulting. This was really analyzing and breaking down a true, legitimate interview and breaking it down into bite-sized pieces of my preview, what my views are on the conversation and what I witnessed with this conversation. And I broke it down for the audience. But again, you guys have the information. If you guys do want to watch the entire interview, you're more than welcome to go on Crackin Cases. That's where I pulled that interview from. And you can see the entire, I cut, that wasn't a full interview. If I were to have the entire full interview, it would have been over an hour. And as you can see, I just took the important stuff out and broke it down for you and, put it into, I think it was 27-minute video. So this was only half of what was said in the entirety. And I tell the audience that because a lot of people, go in here and chop my stuff up, but they never tell their audience that it's not conveyed in the exact way it was presented. I'm letting you know that that was a parsed down version of the interview. It was not conveyed in the way it was presented. However, if you do see it, I didn't chop it up too much. I didn't overanalyze it. And it is the important stuff was brought to you, and my opinion was rendered. So let's just keep moving on. Yes. And there were some people in here that said that, they believe Candus has a disability. I concur with that. It was Michelle After Dark. She had a lot of information that I had not been a privy to about Candus, about Candus's younger years, with her mother. And it does sound like she had some developmental issues growing up with school and everything. I don't want to be disrespectful, but it sounded like she had some slow learning disabilities early on in her childhood and young adulthood. So I do truly believe that there are some developmental issues with Candus. And that's why I always said, and if you guys ever saw me out in front of that house in Sullivan County, I even said to Don's face, Don, where is Summer Wells? Or where is Summer? Where is your daughter? We know darn well that Candus is not smart enough to know what to do. She would have called you. And I said that right in front of law enforcement. And I pointed my finger. I'm on the road. I'm on public property. Again, a lot of people say that I am a bully, which I'm not a bully, but I do exercise the law. And that's what I do. And so, that is what we do. That's what our team does, right? We don't just sit here and have these conversations. We actually go out and interview people and try to piece together the puzzle. And we actually go out and help search for people. We help search for people. Do we record everything we do? Of course we do. But why do we do that? Because it protects us. It protects us from people being able to say that we stepped on their property when we didn't. So, people have their own thoughts about the work that we do. Is it controversial in some cases? For some people, it is. Does it make us bad people? No. We coordinate when we do anything. We out of state, we coordinate very heavily with law enforcement to make sure we're following the law explicitly. Did we have somebody rogue that pushed the envelope? In some cases, yes. But it wasn't the team, So we always try to follow the law explicitly. We coordinate with law enforcement with any assembly that we do. We do that to make sure that they're safe as well as that we're safe. And, we want to make sure that we're able to continue with our work. Do some people not like that work? Of course. But so what? It's still lawful. It's still lawful. And, as long as we're on the right side of the law and we have the blessings of the law to do the work, I'm going to continue to do the work as long as I can. Wow. Sounds like he's got some stuff. So we're going to get off Benny. Yeah, this is not going to be like a bash Benny show, but I did want to bring that, story to light. It was a legitimate story. It was a legitimate breakdown. It does call into question what kind of relationship Benny and Candus truly do have. And if Candus is having these inappropriate feelings, but Benny is not, I hope Benny errs on the side of caution because, this could end very poorly. This could be misconstrued at the minimum. And so hopefully, he reconsiders. I mean, helping somebody is one thing. Living in their home while their husband is in jail is a completely different one. And as any of you guys know, I really don't care. I don't like any of them. Benny and I don't get along. I think Candus and Don Wells need to be in jail. So, but just for the safety of everyone involved, I just think this is a horrible, horrible idea. But again, that's my opinion to have. And, they're all grown adults and they all have to make decisions for themselves. Yes, she was drinking last night. No worries. No worries, hon. No, I don't think so. I do think she has, again, some learning disabilities, and it was Michelle After Dark that really broke that down. And it was, you know what? It was when I was with my mother. So we were out driving. I can remember. Okay, so it was February 14th. It was on Valentine's Day, I believe she broke it down, because I was with my mom and we were driving. And the only time that my mom and I went on a, well, no, was it going to Taylor's house? I think it, no, it was on the back roads. I think it was on February 14th. She broke down Candus's life story. I'm almost positive. If you guys go over to Michelle After Dark, I believe it was February 14th. If my memory serves me correctly, she really did break down a lot related to Candus. It was really good, in my opinion, what she did. So for those that would like to see that. Oh, sorry, I accidentally hit that. My mouse is sticking on me. So usually when my mouse starts sticking, it, thank you, by the way. When my mouse starts sticking, it means my computer is going to start having problems. Makes her own choice. Yes, Candus makes her own choices. Benny's got a beautiful wife. Oh, that's sweet. Had, rather. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this channel. We do cover a lot. You know, most of the time it is real life and true crime. But again, this is about Summer Wells. This is a interview that, you know, Candus, for a really long time, Don took over being in front of the camera, which I found was very odd, because I found it odd because, one, he supposedly said he was not there. How could he possibly have the information necessary to answer the questions on the day in question when he was not there and was not involved, supposedly, right? And that has always been my number one question. But, you know, throughout the interview process that I had with Don on multiple occasions, he's always slipped up, you know, about alleging he was actually there that day. Because I always said from the very beginning, he wasn't there. He was at work and everything like that. And if you noticed, I kind of got off that because after multiple conversations I had directly with Don Wells, which I recorded, he talked about himself being there. And he would always try to correct himself or step back from saying that he, you know, I wasn't there, you know, stuff, when he caught himself stating that he was. So it made me, because I always look for the truth in the lies. And I talk about that a lot on this channel, the truth in the lies. People tend to tell a little bit of the truth when they're lying, so it's believable. And I think that's one of the things. And so when another creator had posted about the interior of the vehicle, the day that we saw the video and the photo of, you know, the purpling of the cuticles and Summer being in the back seat, propped up against the milk. I mean, we even had at one time our audience go to the refrigerator and take out milk or any other cold beverage and stick it up to their face to figure out how could they stick it up to their face, how long they could stick it up to them without it starting to burn. Because when you have cold, really cold stuff like milk or a soda pop or something, it does eventually irritate you from the coldness from it. And, you know, people were saying anywhere between, you know, 15 seconds to 2 minutes. You know, everybody's tolerance for that would be different. But you got to remember, this was a young child with, you know, sweet, I call it sweet meat, you know, the sweet, you know, tender skin. So, yeah, I think Stacey, we've kind of come to that. And, you know, that's a good point. I've heard that before. If anybody doesn't know what AFS is, it's alcohol fetal syndrome. And alcoholic fetal syndrome, it's when a mother drinks while she's pregnant. It does cause developmental issues with the child when they're born. So I've heard that before too. So, you know, there is a possibility of that. You know, we just don't know. Fetal alcohol syndrome. Yeah, that's it. Fetal alcohol. I knew what you were talking about, though. It's potential. It's possible. It's possible. It, like I said, I really, really, really think it's a bad idea. I don't know how other ways to say it. You just don't go swimming in another man's pond. I'm sorry, you just don't. Even if you're not, the optics are really, really bad. Even if the man says, "Oh, it's okay," trust me, it's not okay. He's sitting in jail. Trust me, those gears are spinning nonstop 24/7. Nonstop 24/7. There is no way. There's just no way. And so I just think it just worries me. It just worries me. Even though I really don't like him, I do worry about people, having certain problems. And I think this is one of the ones that would be, certain problems. I don't know. I just think it's poor. I think it's poor judgment. I think it's poor judgment. So let's see where we go. I'm trying to read through some of these things. I am a little behind schedule. Do I recall a video of a woman who owns a store where the parade was, and she said 15 minutes before the parade, Candus was in the store buying a meth pipe. Wow. We didn't interview people in and around that parade, but I'm sure there are, other people that did. And, and not only that, but, the whole hippie house and the Catch-22, that had me concerned because when you went in there, and I have to say that hippie house had a strong odor of marijuana in it. It really did. It had a strong odor of marijuana. Does it mean that there was marijuana being sold? Of course not. Even the owner themselves said that the smell of what they're allowed to sell in the state of Tennessee smells very similar to marijuana. So that explains why that strong marijuana smell was in that store. But it was predominantly a smoke shop, which means they sell paraphernalia associated with marijuana consumption. So like your bongs, your marijuana pipes, and even I guess I don't know what other ones they have, but the flute looking things they have, which from what I hear could be misconstrued as a narcotic pipe of some sort. And so it is a in all intents and purposes a marijuana shop. Do they sell marijuana? No, but they sell contraband associated with marijuana, lawful contraband associated with marijuana, period. And I know people want to misuse my words, but it's easy to misuse my words, but that's okay. People know what certain devices are used for. In convenience stores, they have those straight pipes with the little rose in them. Trust me, those straight pipes with a little rose in it is not for you to hand to your girlfriend or your significant other. It is used for narcotic purposes. So I remember when I was a little kid, I was like 5 or 6, I saw that little glass pipe with a pretty little rose in it. They were different colors, red, blue, purple. And I remember asking my dad, can I get one of those? And he about fell over and he was like, nope. And I'm why, Daddy? Why? Because it's glass and it'll cut you. He left it at that. It wasn't until I was much older that I realized what the true intent and purpose of that product was. Yeah, exactly. And so, I'm not going to keep beating a dead horse. It's just bad optics. It's bad optics. I think it's a horrible decision, but yes. And that goes to why they have, when you look at this work aid for the Tennessee Department of Children's Services, there's a lot of check marks on here, a lot of check marks that go toward Candus and Don Wells. And it makes you wonder, why are they not in jail? And then we had Don here that says he was law enforcement and says that they would have had to. Well, if they would have had to, why haven't they? Because even with Chris McDonough's own interview, I believe it was July 22nd, July-ish, she disappeared June 15th. He was one of the first interviewers there, and he showed their house, and they lived in filth. And I'm sorry, but I posted it on my community tabs page over a month ago. Here in Manatee County, there was a house that was just riddled. It looked like the Wells property. Well, guess what? 4 adults. Now, mind you, no children disappeared. No children outside of the negligence and, not being properly nutritioned and things like that. Nobody died. Nobody was really seriously injured. But 4 people are charged with felony charges of child neglect because of the condition of that property. 4 adults, the 4 adults living in that home. So, and that looked a lot like Summer Wells' home. And actually probably might have been a little bit cleaner. Just saying. So why are the Wells not being charged for the condition that they forced their children, 4 of their children, to live in? It doesn't make sense. TBI needs to do better. They need to do better. These parents should not be out walking around. One is in jail. The other one needs to accompany him. Just saying. My opinion. I'm entitled to it. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I can only tell you what that shop smelled like, and it smelled quite like marijuana. So, there was a phone call that was made that was aired on YouTube that the person on the other end of the phone said that it has the same, smell and mimics marijuana. The Delta 8 mimics marijuana quite a lot. So with the smell, texture, and taste. And so that may have explained the smell in that shop, but it was pretty strong. When we went over to Catch 22, that smell was not in their shop. It was only in that hippie house shop that had that strong, pungent odor. Here comes All's Clint. I haven't gotten down there yet. So, okay. Makes no sense that the parents, these other states arrested, yet nothing for Summer. Yeah, it's because the other states know how to conduct investigations. They know how to apply pressure appropriately, and they know how to find, other laws to arrest, other criminal acts to arrest them unrelated to the missing child. And they utilize that for their benefit. Here in Tennessee, I don't know what's going on with them. I have never seen anything so nutty in my life. Now, mind you, I did go to college. I did study criminal law as part of my college courses. This makes no sense to me. None. And if I've got criminal defense attorneys that are in here, or criminal prosecutors that are either retired or current that are in here, I would love to hear them explain. So I'm going to go ahead and, we will be cautious, but I'm going to go ahead and put a link. I want to hear anybody that wants to come on. You can put your little verbal on if you don't want to show your face, but I'm going to go ahead and put in the link in the chat. I'm curious to see how you guys feel about what you've learned today. If anybody would like to come on panel, I'm happy to have a conversation with you. So I just wanted to throw that out there. Because we're at the top of the 3 hours. So if... Mama Bear, yes, the FBI is kind of over everybody, but I don't know if the FBI really has a hand in this situation. It seems like it's being handled more so by TBI, and that is where I think we need to focus our efforts, is TBI as well as the state attorney. That's just my opinion. Well, does it? Yeah. Well, if they do that, I mean, it's just for my eyes. You know, it's just for my eyes. Mill. So I'm going to leave this open just for a little bit longer. And then if nobody wants to come up, we'll be pretty much done with the show for the day. Everybody have a wonderful Saturday. We think you're beautiful people. Let's see what we got, BK. Okay, yeah. But that is where reports go, and they have not done anything. Not necessarily. Like the FBI only has certain jurisdiction. This is the jurisdiction of TBI. And yes, you're right. They do have reports. They do have information. They do have the evidence in which I have discussed on multiple occasions. We did meet with the state attorney, the assistant state attorney. I'll have to go back and listen to that again. Again, that will not be, available to the public in the least bit of way because it was a mistake on my part. I thought that the my recorder was turned off, but I had the one in my bra. And long story short, we were asking that, and it was basically, she was very cautious in how she answered the question, but it sounded like they were building a bigger case, and that's why they hadn't come forward with the smaller charges. And if you notice that these other states, they come along with the smaller charges and build the bigger case once the perpetrators are behind bars. So I don't know why they've allowed the Wells to stay out so long. But they definitely have enough to arrest them on the child neglect, child endangerment, even related to Hunter, something completely unrelated to their own children. They have enough evidence to arrest them on the contributing to the delinquency of a minor. So I'm not sure why they haven't. Yeah. And I don't know, because she even told Chris McDonough that it was Tennessee hot, so it was a really, really hot day. So it didn't make sense. Like, why would you put a child in long sleeves to make them warmer and then stick them on milk to make them cooler? So we will see about that. So at any rate, that's what we'll do. So. All right, guys. Well, at the end of the day, I just want to tell you guys all, I love you and God bless you. Have a great Saturday. It was a great video, a great day, and I hope you enjoyed it. Please like, share, and subscribe to this channel, and come back on Monday where we have Coffee Club. This is where we try to set the tone for people's day. We try to keep it clean. We try to keep it drama-free. And just want to tell you that we love each and every one of you. And if nobody told you they love you today, I did. Have a great day, and God bless.